Good God, have we had a couple of days to forget here, guys. And I know some of you followers on Facebook quite a lot, so you'll appreciate what we've been going through the last 2 days with well, our oldest serving member here on the farm, not Toon and me, Spoon. She finally met her match in the form of a really big cobra, the likes of which I've never ever seen before. Not the species, just the sheer size of it. Right, that's the tilapia's done. I've already done the Siamese carp, and we've got some catla carp in there with the crayfish. But what I also want to talk about is the pond of death. So 3 days ago, 2 days ago, Leigh, I was off to immigration. I know most of us foreigners, expats in Thailand, rave on about Division 5, but I got no issues at all. I got on really well with them, and I think they do a cracking job. I know it's potentially not the case for all of you that are out here. So I came out extra early because we have to rent a guy in the village. He takes us out there. Right, let me get the other fish food. We'll go to the lake, eh? Yeah, so I came out here to sort the goats out and feed the fish, and there's about 30 dead fish in here, and all my fault. Great, these videos where you're honest about you being such a Rodney, isn't it? What had happened, we'd run out of fish pellet for the previous 2 days. I just hadn't been able to get into town, you know, with Toon situation. Should have paid someone to go and get them for us. But anyway, we were off to the noodle shop woman who keeps a load of food for us. Now, originally we were using all the food to feed the black soldier fly larvae, but it was getting so hot here in the 40-degree plus continued long dry season out here that they were all dying. So we thought, right, we'll halt the black soldier fly production and then just get new eggs when the weather drops, when the temperature drops. So about now would be perfect. So we got hold of this, well, it's basically slop at the noodle shop, and we hadn't been there for a while. She normally keeps loads of it for us, so we have 4 big buckets. So I threw one in the tilapia pond, one in the lake. I just got greedy because there's quite a lot of maggots in it, and I thought, oh, that's going to be brilliant for all the black shark minnows. I've got a lot of small black shark minnows in the pond, and I launched 2 bucketfuls in there, which was obviously too much and bloody poisoned them. So the worst aspect of it was a lot of Aesop Thai. Some of you all know that they are one of the most prized, well, golden prize carp here in Thailand. They're not crazy fast growing either, so they were a year old, and they were about 2.5 pounds, and loads of normal carp as well. When I say normal carp, they're what we call banai, which are the koi common carp crossed, and thankfully only 4 black shark minnows. They were still small. Right, let's feed Toon's gourami. So in here we've got Toon's medium-sized species of gourami. They get like a small floating pellet. So yeah, I got that wrong actually. When we first came out to the pond, there was only 4 floating. 2 of each species, two Aesop Thai and 2 carp, and say a few little black shark minnow. So I took them out. They'd only just passed, and then there were loads like gasping for oxygen in the shallows. But by the time I'd took the dead ones out and came and sorted the goats out, this was all had to be done before 9 o'clock, before our lift was coming. The rest of them went down. What I mean, guys, they went back down. They weren't searching for oxygen anymore. I was like, danger avoided. A day full of full sun, get the oxygen levels back up, and be happy days. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. However, by the time the lift came, it all clouded over, and then it drizzled most of the day. Came back, was over, well, I estimate about 30 dead. Came back, just got the solar pump running but it was negligible, just hardly anything, not enough sunlight really, so cloudy. Lost our biggest grass carp, and there was about another 10 that were dead, various species. So horrific. Most of them were past being able to be salted, you know, like balar or anything like that, fermented fish or salted fish. I think Toon did the grass carp, yeah, that had only just passed. So yeah, that was pretty bad. So didn't feed them for 2 days. That's the first lot they've had, and see there's still quite a few fish in there, but get this, the carp, they're just coming up 1 year old. I think they're 10 months old. Weighed one, 4.5 pounds. Get it, big enough to just go in the lake. I was going to net it end of this year. Yeah, there you go. Miraculously, no ESOC and no and Jan died. Less the dead on the bottom. No, I just saw a load. So the ESOC are the rohu carp, and the and Jan are the marigal carp. So there's a positive. The black shark minnow, they seem to be all right. I thought they would all go, to be fair. So yeah, that was that. And then the next day, it got 10 times worse, 100 times worse. Right, I'm going to throw this food into the lake, and then you don't got to look at me and my ugly mug shot. You just watch some fish feeding. Don't really feed the fish in the lake pellet, apart from here, just a couple of spoonfuls each day. What a little one just jumped there. What it does, feeding around here, it keeps a lot of the small sawai around here. They don't really go anywhere. And then the same over here. Sawai, well, apart from John Harvey, most anglers don't like catching sawai. But I put them in here as a food source for me. Toon can't eat them. Fortunately, she can't eat any fish without scales. It's not some weird religious thing she's got going on. It's it just makes her sick. So anytime someone gives her catfish in sort of like a chili paste and says it's snakehead or something, she knows within the first mouthful that it's not. She's chucking a ring up. So yeah, it just makes them easier to catch here now. So I got a nice one yesterday, and that's now in the fridge and prepped, ready for the missus to pan fry, with us throwing the food waste in here. A lot of the fish tend to congregate around here. The pacu, the walking catfish and the sawai are the main ones, and of course the trillions of Java barber here as well. Right, let's try and get out the sun a little bit. Look at that. Had the predator rods out yesterday. Just needed a bit of alone time really. With what happened with Spoon, it's just, yeah, it really did. It's quite traumatic. So I was sat over in Toon's party place over there, put the predator rods out, down the side. Got plenty of fish strips to use for bait, and then just put the pellet waggler out and fish close in on that. Didn't get a sniff on the predator rods. Oh, you fucking wanker. It's not all bad, look. I was going to say it's floated back up. Let me get that. You ever get those moments in life, guys, where everything that's supposed to be going for you seems to be working against you? Oh, I'm probably going to slip in now. Hey ho, we keep going, don't we? I can't even blame it on not having enough coffee. We already had two. Oh, that's not a dead fish over there. Not in the lake, surely. Hang on, I better go and have a look. Right, there's something white over. Let's get the UU finder. Just in front of the Flemish cap over there. Hopefully it's just a bit of rubbish from the boys have been doing a project for us. That's Nalur and Nalured, so we'll go and see. Yeah, there's another almost fatal injury here. Stroke Gigi, and she got so excited. She didn't pee herself, thankfully. She jumped up, so I need to clip her claws. Right, on to spoon then while I'm having a little wander around. Yeah, 9 years we've been lucky enough to have Spoon by our side. We originally got her when she was so small that we had to bottle feed her and Clop. That was her brother, Clop. Well, he was bottle fed. Spoon got her name because she wouldn't drink out of the bowl. Oh, there's a little chipmunk running through there. She'd only have milk off a spoon, so there you go. That's how she got a bizarre name. Well, actually, someone on Facebook did comment saying that the only other person that they knew that called the dog Spoon, I think, was a sister-in-law or brother-in-law. Right, where is that? Hopefully it's just a bloody bag or something down here. Where was it? Oh, flipping Rodney. I think it was the sun just shining on the side or something. Yeah. Paranoid now that fish are dying everywhere, but they're not. We very rarely get anything dying the lake. Well, whenever anything does, it just gets eaten. There is a bit of rubbish there against the edge. Plastic bag. Yeah, we will reveal. It's going to be quite some time. At least I'm honest about it. Don't get your hopes that this super secret, top secret project for the boys will be revealed hopefully later this year. Okay then, so Spoon. Those of you that were lucky enough to have met the old girl, she had this knack of, well, she was her own dog, she really was, and somehow she avoided for 9 years any remote possibility of working hard, unless there was a snake that came near the house. Away from the house, you know, she wouldn't go out of her way to go and get snakes or anything like that. Different from rats. She would go ratting in the morning. She used to go with Bambi and Clop, and then she's taught Darwin as well. Gigi's not really bothered. She goes and has a look, but yeah. So she just couldn't chew any time a snake was. She clocked a snake near the house. That was it. quite often in the mornings, or we weren't around, you come back and there's a dead snake around the fruit trees and things like that. However, it was always different when it was a cobra, and she would bark and never ever stop barking until I got there. And as soon as I get there, it'd all kick off. And this last year, you could see that the years were just starting to catch up on the old girl. And I would say about 4 or 5 months ago, she got a shot in the eye, you know, the old spit gozzed her, and yeah, she clouded over in one eye for a few days, but vet Toon irrigated it and gave her drops, and it was fine. And whoa, I'm not sure if that's Toon's murdering gar or something else, but I don't know. Well, this is a chance for me. When I get this on the computer, I can zoom that in and slow it down. It looked a little bit fat to be a gar. Well, the long lean torpedo, unless it's eaten about 20 Julien's carp that I threw in here, which is a distinct possibility. So well, that's something interesting for me to look later on. Let's get a little bit of shade. That's another thing, that's another wee example of how things go. My favourite bamboo hat got blown off. I'd forgotten to bring it back. Memory from the goat compound, and the storm got up and it blew it off the little hook that I always put it on. Landed in all goat pee, trampled by them. They always used to bite it if I left it up not high enough. Certainly if Brownie saw it, that was it. So it was getting a bit nibbled here and there. But yeah, and so now it's all minging. Yeah, so cobras, 3 times she'd been hit in the eye by various cobras. But she always managed to dispatch them. Yeah, this one, she thought she had it. She got it in the middle, threw it around, stunned it. I think she thought she'd sorted it. You know, she'd normally go in, thrash them around, and then sort of like drop them, and then sort of like, look at me, Dad. You know, aren't I good? But because it was bigger than she'd ever took on before, and she hadn't smashed it up enough, she turned her back on it, which still see it now. It sort of like burst back into life, and it got her there. She went crazy. It's like, how dare you? Just destroyed it. And I'm not a snake hater. I know I've done some silly videos years gone by. You know, I do appreciate a lot of people like snakes. I don't particularly like snakes, certainly not after this, but I'm a bit more rounded in my view of snakes, certainly in the tropics on a farm. And you know, we don't mow the grass. You know, we are sort of like semi-wild. Yeah, something monstrous just jumped in there. We will drain it one day. Yeah, and yeah, after she'd dispatched it, she ran off. She tried to hide a corner, came back. She was like that. Now Toon's still crook. She looks a lot better now, but she was in the bedroom. What felt like an eternity for her to come out, because I needed her to come and wash the eye and to get the antihistamine shot. But we've saved a goat. Toon saved Sherbet one year. She was all over the shop. She was on her way out. Well, it looked like she was on her way out, and Toon gave her this shot of antihistamine, and she was okay. Whether or not it was a cobra, we don't know, but it was a snake bite. It's just maybe it took too long, maybe it wouldn't have made any difference, we don't know. So within about 5 minutes she lost the use of her limbs, so she was laying down with me, you know, everything was coming out both ends. And then the convulsions, bloody hell, it was just really, I've never seen anything like that before. I've seen a few things on telly, but to see it firsthand to your furry mate, it was hard. Now Toon cannot deal with anything like that, even when it was like Bambi, certainly with the goats, when any of them need dispatching or anything, she's off. Whereas I go, I'm certainly not bigging myself up about it, I go full Dr. Kildare, you know, and whatever happens will happen, and I'll cry like a baby afterwards, but in that moment when that animal needs you, I'm there, and I'll do what I can for as long as I can. So we're a good half an hour, you know, and say she'd slipped into consciousness, and I was just saying to her, I said, it's not going to happen, she's going to go. Then I just noticed the blackest nose in Thailand, apparently, isn't that right, John Harvey? Wanker. A little black hooter twitched, and a fly landed on her eye, and a fly twitched, and she always hated Mangwan, the flies out here. I was like, nah, can't be, can it? It's like these movies where you think someone's dead and everyone's getting ready to start crying, isn't they? And then next minute I'm like, I'm sure their chest just moved. So I just sort of like put my head round the front of her head, because I'd been laying down with her all the time. It's like that. She bloody opened her eye, didn't she? Like, bloody hell. The Death Dodger. That's what we used to nickname Bambi, the amount of times she got run over. And then, I don't know, 10 minutes later she could lift her head, and then she was trying to sit up, stand up. I was just like, oh, she started panting quite a lot. I was like, well, I'm not surprised. So I went to, I said, Toon had gone off down to the noodle shop to get some ready cooked food from the woman. So every time I got up to go and get her, I was trying to get her an electrolyte, she would try and get up, but she couldn't, and she was just smashing her face on the floor, so I couldn't get her a drink until Toon got back. Gave her the drink, absolutely not interested. Tried to sort of like wet her muzzle with it, and she licked it a bit, but she's just not interested. But she would not chill, and she was getting so restless. I said to Toon, I said, I think she wants to go for a piss. So I lifted her up and carried her out onto the grassy knoll, should we say. Whoa, the guard's just come up again. That was a lovely shot. That was 100% the guard, that was. It was a unit now. This is why I don't go swimming in the lake. Such a child. I'm more scared of the giant snakehead. Seen them just snap fish in half in one chomp. Keep on thinking, if you go in with your ring out and start flashing about, yeah, I've seen river monsters. Yeah, so I took her out, still near the house. She still couldn't stand, but she was not a nice, clean, private dog, you know, and I thought, well, if she just wants to do her ablutions there, I'll give her a few minutes. So what I did, house is over there, walked out here a little bit further, and brought the snake to the lure. He does eat cobras if they're big enough. Now I don't go hunting cobras to feed people. It's just, you know, it's a dead creature, so if someone can get a meal out of it, then all well and good in my book. Just gave me, told him what would happen in my pidgin Thai language, with Spoon, sort of like, you know, she's okay, she KO'd, but looks like she's going to be okay. I walked past and the old girl had passed. Toon didn't even know. So I think the restlessness was, as Bambi did to us, you know, you think they're getting better and they just want to get out a bit. No, they want to pass a little bit away from you, not too far, but a little bit, don't they? Dogs are renowned for it. I don't know what the thinking is. I don't know. One of you will know. There's a lot of dog experts that watch the channel. So yeah, that sort of like shocked me rather than actually seeing what happened with the cobra. So again, Toon, no use whatsoever. Not because of her physical state. She can't deal with that sort of thing. This is why she gets over things so quickly when there's fatalities on the farm. You know, she tries to distance herself from it. She will have a bit of a cry, obviously, but she doesn't get that sort of like deep emotional turmoil when things are kicking off. So we decided there and then that we'd like to put her in the orchard. So I picked up Toon's dad's old pick, and it's like a long handled, it's called a job out here, I can't pronounce it, so Toon's always taking a pee at me. Started thrashing away with that, and obviously within about 12 inches of the topsoil, I then hit the layer of what we call our moon rock, this stuff, subsoil, and I was wobbling a bit. And sort of, have you ever been like that where you're emotionally all wound up and you're trying to do something physical and you go crazy, don't you? You're like, ah! It's a bit like that for losing at rugby to a horrible team. Oh, I can't do it. I shouted to Charles, I said, can you give the boys a shout? I need a hand. So Leigh, he was like a flipping samurai with his digging skills, and he helped finish off the grave. Leigh picked up spoon, popped her in, buried her, and yeah, picked a few flowers, pinned them in, and picked a few cut flowers as well. So hopefully some will grow and some were just in a pot, some really nice ones. And we got the beers out, guys. Got flipping bladdered. Well, I wasn't bladdered, but I definitely oiled the wheels. Toon had a few, and Toon had popped a thing on Facebook, you know, and yeah, so I shared it to some of you guys. We've seen it on our Facebook page, Toon, Leigh, Porpeang, Farm Thailand. So of course, loads of comments, and it gets you talking, and as the Leos build up, of course it all starts coming out, doesn't it? It was just opening the sluice gates. It was really, well, considering how I felt yesterday morning, I think it helped a lot. There was a lot of you that messaged me as well, and we just appreciate it so much. You know, I mean, the tears are done now. They've still got the heartache, obviously, but it was the same with Bambi. When they're gone, aren't they? And you, certainly for us, we have to get back in the saddle straight away, because, you know, this place still has to function. So although we're not functioning that well, Toon certainly isn't physically, I think it helps us deal with it, or whether we're just shelving it a bit, I don't know. But certainly with Bambi, I mean, God, that girl, it's just crazy, isn't it? I think we had Bambi for only 7 years, so with Spoon 9, Bambi was in a whole different stratosphere, and I feel a little bit bad saying that, because obviously Spoon's just gone. She was a great dog, just never gave us any drama, whereas Bambi did in the early years. We only have good memories about these two dogs, and I think once you've let everything out and let it go a bit, then you can move on all right, and then just remember the good times. Sometimes you think you've let your mate down, didn't you? Like with Bambi, we wanted her to have kids, so we stopped her medication for stopping her have a litter. And we should never have done it. You know, she had internal, as soon as she stopped that and she mated with, she came into heat and mated with Klopp, then all her internals just went like flipping, oh, it was like rancid. So, you know, we did that. I mean, we didn't run her over, but we shouldn't have let her try to breed her, but we just loved her so much, and she was getting on a bit, and we thought, well, 7 years old, if we're ever going to be lucky enough to get a litter out of her, then, you know, we need to do it sooner rather than later. So yeah, we made a mistake there. With Spoon, yeah, we could have acted quicker, should have acted quicker. Could I have done more when she fronted up to the snake? Yeah, definitely, you know. But you know, it's not just Spoon getting on in years, it's me as well. I'm not as quick as I used to be, and the coordination isn't quite up there anymore. But you've got to be realistic, haven't you? And I'm not just telling myself this, a lot of you guys were telling me as well, you know, don't beat yourself up and move on, get it out of your system as quick as possible. Perspective, I think that's the word. I'm chatting with Mum as well, you know, she was gutted. She's gutted. She's always like all of our dogs, she's got on really well with, and because I think every single time she's been out here, apart from the first one, maybe 2 visits, Spoon was always here, you know. So big loss for her, but her and me and Toon were really worried about Chris. So most of you have seen Chris in previous videos and on our Facebook and things, and we do mention him because he does come out a couple of times a year, and he has always been besotted with Spoon. Sorry Chris, she didn't really like you that much apart from when you had the treats. But that was Spoon, wasn't it? That was Spoon. Have you got a treat? No? I'm off. As I said, she was her own dog, and she was always there somewhere. Usually you couldn't see her, but she was always there, and although she did absolutely chuff all else, her primary role was to not just get treats, but to take care of us. And if you shouted her, she was there. I tell you though, she's the only dog that hasn't followed us around at night. So when Toon and I come round here having a look security wise, or maybe we've been doing the standing hooks with the frogs, catching the snakeheads, Spoon won't come. She might come out sort of like 100 yards, and then she's like, oh, it's a bit far now, I'll go back. Whether she was thinking, I'll go and take care of the house, I'm not so sure. Bambi would, because where she'd be different from Bambi. Bambi would come out with us, and if all the dogs came, she would be like, thanks guys, now I've got to go back and take care of the house. That was how clever that dog was. Yeah, so very sad. Fantastic memories, but it's the start of a new era, isn't it? Because now we've got the fearless Bebo, we've got PP G-Jar, who needs the nails cutting, and we've got the handsome Darwin. Now, the last few months, Darwin has shown an interest in the snakes. Now hopefully he's not going to be like Spoon. Hopefully he's just going to raise the alarm and not go for it. We'll have to see. I mean, it's part and parcel of being here. There's more snakes here now than ever before. This is why we don't run on the farm, guys. Usually I haven't got enough energy anyway to run. But yeah, if you run in and around the undergrowth, then you're looking for trouble. But generally speaking, apart from this incident with the cobra and the other incidences with them, it was just the 3 python poultry kills. Everything else has just been like rat snakes and little green tree thingies. Sorry, I'm snake illiterate. I'm learning birds more than I am snakes, but I know a cobra, seen one viper here, googled that bad boy, and yeah, mostly those brown rat snake things. You get some weird like rainbow coloured ones as well. We can't live this life and not come into contact with God's creatures, can we? Can't concrete the whole area. I could mow the grass more. Yeah, I am quite behind on vegetation maintenance. I have trimmed the whole what do you call it, the canal down there, in anticipation for if and when the drainage canal is topped up again. We're just not enough rain. Yeah, we're gradually catching back up. It's normally it's all nice and short round the ponds, and I trimmed all the orchard about a week ago. So I just try to do this sort of thing when the goats need their greens. I think, right, okay, I'll trim this area, rake it up, and I'll give that to the goats today. But because of Toon's situation, a lot of the times I've just been kicking the goats out and making sure that they've got their leukemia on the table. That's one blessing that we haven't got this proper rainy season in full effect. I can get the goats out a little bit more. It was nice yesterday because Toon actually came out of me for half an hour. Oh, I can hear the snakehead in here. This is the reason I trimmed further along. So in here it's only about 4 inches deep of water, and you can hear the snakehead. So I want them up there so I can cast my lure. I've caught a few out here. Yeah, yesterday, Toon, late afternoon, we let the goat, because we had quite a big downpour just for about half an hour. I'd had to run out and bring the goats back in, so we always like to top them up just before night time. So we let them out near the well where Sophia dropped down the well in the storm once. Yeah, managed to save her. Sophia was a goat actually, not a child. Yeah, in the long stuff, our emergency areas like this. So it was really nice just to be out together, doing a little menial task on the farm like we normally do. Big thanks for all your kind words and well wishes, not just for the last couple of days, but with Toon's situation as well. And apart from a couple of flipping, no, I won't go there. We do love you guys, and we love some more than others. And it's heartwarming when you're going through the ringer, you know, and you're feeling a bit beat up emotionally or physically. It does make... There's a bloody snake in the canal. Right, it's going right across there. Get your finger out the way, Leigh. Can't make it out from here, but I'll try and zoom in for you, snake lovers. Did actually catch a striped snakehead out of the canal. I think it was about a year and a half ago. Gave it to Toon to gut and clean, ready for the pan. There's a bloody snake in it, and the snake was longer than the actual snakehead. Crazy, isn't it? Yeah, so yeah, so thanks very much, and here's the spoon, eh? What a girl. Just need to buy some more flipping Julian's golden prize carp now, don't I? What a tosser. Go on, lovely. Go and do your job, girl.